Hi students, and welcome to this live IELTS class focusing on the listening section. We are going to be listening to a group meeting on a project and a lecture on climate change, speaking parts 3 and 4 on this March 4th. It's an all chat class. Everybody is welcome to join the chat, so make sure to join and voice your thoughts and questions in regards to the IELTS, specifically to the IELTS listening. And I hope everybody is having a good start to their weekend. Welcome, Saeed, our member. Good to see you. Hopefully MS Word is working now, Saeed. Welcome to our viewers, Suksha, Mohinder, Kanupriya. Nice to see many students in this class. Students, the lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us at aehelp.com. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have lots of materials to help you improve your English and communication, including 6 original practice tests, a fully interactive course, and lots of videos. Click that big red button right there to join our premium IELTS package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and for 2 more days you have this discount code that you can use, RU492, that will give you a 30% discount off the original price. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, unlimited access. So you're good to go. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator, joining in as well, making sure we all keep it clean and focused on IELTS. General IELTS, green background, this big red button there. You can see we're an IELTS Test Registration Center, certified British Council agents. So you're in great hands with us, everyone, for your learning. All right, so again, lots of materials. You can get our apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help in your app store. You can also follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AE Help. So join us and use this code on our website. Students, we've got listening right now again, and that's part 3, part 4. Tomorrow we'll have speaking part 2 and speaking part 3. And if you have questions, you can always send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Okay. Let's get to some listening. So yesterday I showed you a very important tip. Okay. And that tip was that during the instruction time, you look at the topics of all 4 parts of the listening. So IELTS listening has 4 parts. Each one has 10 questions. You should review the topic, so what it's about. So yesterday, we listened to part 1, which was registering for football. We listened to part 2, which was about the Titanic. And now we're going to listen to part 3, which is some kind of a discussion of a group project. And then, of course, climate change will be part 4. So let's hop over. This is our first exam from our exam books. It's called the review test. And we are in section 3 now. Since 2020, they don't say section 3 anymore. They say part 3. Like this, they call it part 3. And again, it has 10 questions. So we're going to do this together. We're going to listen, answer, and then I will give you strategies and tips as we go through the answers. Very importantly, students, as you're listening, if you have a headset, use it. It's better. And as you're listening, make sure to not put answers into the chat. So put them somewhere else on a piece of paper or in a separate document, type them into a text message. It doesn't matter, just somewhere else so that you don't confuse other students, okay? All right, so let's get ready to listen. I'm going to jump over to our website. That's where we have our audio materials. So I'm already logged in. So I'm just going to step into my student account at the top there and the tour of the website. And then let's jump over to the audio CDs. This is going to be CD number 1, track number 3. Here we go, everybody. Listen and answer these questions, okay?
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear 3 students organising a class project. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great! That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right. So we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
OK, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Sounds good to me.
Right then, since there's 3 of us, my idea was that 2 of us could take care of the writing part of the project, while 1 of us could look after the artwork, making the poster look smart.
I'll do the artwork. I think I'm a pretty good artist.
I'll be happy to do half the writing. What topics are we going to choose?
Well, the professor said the topic has to be an event that took place somewhere between 1400 and 1800, so we can't do either of the world wars.
That's too bad. My dad is an expert on the Second World War, and he could have helped me with my part. What are we going to do instead?
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
I was reading my textbook the other day and I read some really interesting information on the French Revolution.
That's a really good idea.
I know. How about instead of doing a summary of the French Revolution, we write about some of the people involved instead?
Oh, I like that idea. So who are some of the important people?
Well, there's the King, Louis XVI.
Robespierre was important, I think.
Yes, he was. And of course, Napoleon Bonaparte.
We should have 4 people, so you can each write about 2 people.
How about Marie Antoinette?
OK, so we have 4 historical figures. Each of you are going to write about 2. Now we have to decide how much we're going to write. Remember, we have to fill up a 3-board poster.
That's a good point about the 3-board poster. Maybe we should do a 5th person, then we can have 2 figures on each side with 1 in the middle.
Good idea. We can make the middle one really important. We'll make that one Napoleon. As for a 5th person, how about Voltaire?
Good. So how about I do the important one on Napoleon and a smaller one on Robespierre?
OK, and I'll do the other 3.
How long should each topic be?
I'd say 200 words each for the small ones and 450 for the big one on Napoleon.
I think that sounds about right. What do you think about meeting up later on?
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, so check those answers in that half minute. And just stop the audio on the website. And now we will look at the answers for this part 3. And as you saw, I was kind of guiding you a little bit through the content, so you have a sense of speed and what you should be looking at what time. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here and talk about question 21. So question 21 here is, what day of the week does the discussion take place? Okay. Now, it was a little bit tricky. They're talking about the deadline being pushed back to Monday so they can do it on the weekend. And the man says, no, I don't want to do it on the weekend. Well, they say, okay, well, let's just finish it by the end of the week, the original due date. And then I realized this is getting pretty confusing, so I took some notes. Like, they want to hand it in Friday, which is the due date. It gives them today and tomorrow, Thursday, to finish it. So which day of the week does the discussion take place? Okay. And Mien says Wednesday. Me, you are correct. Absolutely. It's Wednesday. Okay. So Wednesday is the correct answer. You could just simplify it and write wed like that. Okay. Wednesday. Kawal, very good. Yeah, it's definitely not Friday. They're going to give the project to the professor on Friday. And they said they have 2 days then, today and tomorrow, Thursday, which means that today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Very good for those of you who got that. Okay. All right. Make sure you know how to spell the days of the week. Right, that's very important. Okay. All right. Tushar, we don't have Google Pay yet, but we will have Google Pay later on. You can buy the course in different ways. Just send me an email and I'll help you out. Okay, you can Tushar, you can buy the app. You can use Google Pay for that, and then you can access the full course through the app as well. You can unlock it. Okay, back to the point here. So, write no more than one word. Okay, we have to be careful here. Make sure you only write one word for each answer. I looked at the topics here of the categories, so the group task, and when the task is completed. This was pretty quick. They did kind of repeat the answers a little bit, but it was definitely coming fast, and that's of course because it's part 3 listening. Sometimes in part 3 the answers are coming quickly, one after the next. Okay, all right, so what are they doing today? And they're doing this right now, so I mean, you kind of get the idea. Even if you missed this question, you should be able to figure it out because they're doing this in the audio. Okay, Rohit and Cass both say planning. Yeah, they're planning the project. Okay, and you know that it's an ing form because the other responses are ing. So you see, like, it's doing, right? Pudding. So you know that it's some kind of a verb, ing. So they're planning the project today. They're doing the project tonight. Okay, so they're going to sit down, write their parts, and then today, tonight, it makes sense that this answer for number 23, even if I didn't quite catch it in the audio, but if I'm like using, pretty good logic, then I can probably figure out that they're putting the project together. That's right, Saeed. That's right, Simran. Tomorrow. Yeah. Again, make sure you know how to spell words like today, tonight, tomorrow. that's very important. I'm the one to speak. My spelling is atrocious at times, but yeah, for these simple words, definitely know how to spell them. Okay. All right, so number 24, multiple choice. Who paid the cost of the poster board? So kind of talking. This woman says, I got the poster. Okay. So at first we think it's the woman, but it's not one of the women. It is one of the women's father. The correct answer is B, and I can see that many of you got that, which is good. Okay, because they want to give some money to her for the poster board, and then she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Dad got it for me anyway. It's not like Dad needs money, right? I have 2 daughters, so but so one of the women, what are dads for, right? Bonus question, students, and you should be doing this when you're practicing at home. Okay, so when you practice listening for the IELTS at home, all right, ask yourself extra questions. Or with a partner, ask each other extra questions. Like, how much did the poster board cost? Okay, anybody remember how much the poster board cost? Did anybody catch that? Okay. Anybody catch that? That's right, Saeed. It cost £3. Yeah, £3. So not a ton of money, but just some stationery supplies. Okay, yeah, very good. So that kind of those kinds of questions and answers that go beyond the questions that are in your exam booklet when you're doing these listening exercises, they check your overall understanding and how much detail you're retaining from your listening. So definitely do that. Okay. All right. Questions 25 to 26. Write no more than 3 words. So always really pay attention to the instructions. So number 25, the topic must be an event that occurred sometime between the years something and something. So these are the project parameters. They're working on a history project. It's a group project, and it has to be an event that occurred between, yeah, that's right, Simran, Rohit Lay, very nice, Jessica Run, Saeed, Abdul, Kawal, very good. Yeah, 14 and 1800. So really here it's just the 2 numbers. You don't even need the and. Okay, so 1400 and 1800. Yeah, that's right. So just the numbers. Okay. In your answer booklet on the paper-based exam, you would just write 1400, comma, and then 1800, and you're good to go. Okay. All right. Okay, so the guy's a little bit disappointed. He's like, it's too bad, because he wanted to do a different topic. What topic would the male student like to write on but cannot due to the assignment restrictions? So here, the man said, it's too bad I can't do it on this. My dad could have helped me. It would have been really good. Saeed says World War. Cass says Second World War. Yeah, that's correct. The easiest way to do this would be World War II. Like that. Yeah. So all the other correct answers you could write, because it's 3 words. So Second World War, World War II, World War II, like that as well. So all of those would actually be correct. You could either do like World War II, like that. Okay. So all of those would be correct, but the easiest way to do it is that right there. Okay. Rashika, yeah, you could even do it like that. Second World War, so second WW. Yeah. Okay. So lots of different ways to write this. Just make sure it's correct. Choose the easier, quicker method so that you can focus more on the audio. Okay, and then you have this poster board. So then you have this project, right, that they're doing. And they decide to do the poster board on what? All right, students. So it looks like I was able to unfreeze myself, bring myself out of cryogenics here, and we'll get back to answering these questions. So for those of you who hung in there, great. I'm just going to pop out our chat so I can see you all better. And there we go. Like magic, I am back. Okay, so let's go right back into it. Let's take a look at questions 27, 28, 29, and 30. So this is where we heard the group, the students, talking about their project and their poster board. And they talked about some important people for the French Revolution, right? So they're doing their project on the French Revolution, and they say, okay, well, let's include some important people onto this 3-board poster. Now, the 3-board poster, it has 3 panels, right? So it's got 1, 2, 3 panels. And on the 2 side panels, they want to put 2 people each. And on the center panel, they want to put 1 very, very important person. So they're talking about Robespierre, and is Robespierre on the side of the poster, in the middle, or it's not included? Let's see what you have here. So, okay. He says 27 is A. Rohit agrees. Sait agrees. Yes, that's correct. So this individual is going on the side of the poster. They do talk about Robespierre. I think they mentioned the name maybe twice, and that person is going on the side of the poster. Okay. Now, the next name, Rousseau. Where is Rousseau on this project or in this project? Well, hopefully, you realized that that this person is not going to be in the project. Okay, let me see what's going on here with the. Why don't you see? That's so strange. Why don't you see that answer? So, oh, there we go. Okay, there, like magic. Okay. So Cass says that wasn't mentioned. That's right. So the answer here is C. Okay, not mentioned. So not going to be on the poster. The correct answer is C. And then they have the king, Louis the 16. So they do definitely talk about Louis the 16, number 29. Me says number 29 should be A, also going on the side of the poster. Yeah. Louis the 16 is definitely mentioned, and Rohit, it's not in the middle of the poster. The king is not the most important person for the French Revolution. The most important person for the French Revolution, and a very, very famous historical figure, because arguably he was kind of the key to overthrowing a lot of the monarchies of Europe, is Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah. So Napoleon goes to the middle of the poster. So hopefully you got that. The correct answers were A, C, A, B. Now, for those of you who hung in there, thank you. That's great. We've got more listening. We're going to do part 4 here in just a moment. But before we do part 4, just a quick question. So what did you get from 10 questions on this part 3? Okay, so how many did you get correct? And just keep in mind that ideally you want to get about 6 or more correct for band scores 6.5 and higher. Okay, so if you're losing like 4 or 5 marks on part 3, part 4, and then you're losing like 3-4 marks on part 1 and 2, then you're going to end up with about a band 6.57, right? Saeed says, I got 6. Or sorry, Saeed 7. 7 is not that bad, Saeed. Kawal, it's 9 out of 10, not 10 out of 9. That would be an impossibility. All right. Cass, you got 9 out of 10. That's very good. Yes. Students, it's not 10 out of 9. It's 9 out of 10. Okay. All right. 9 is good. 9 is good. If you're in the 8, 9, 10 category, you have a chance to get a nice high mark on your IELTS exam for sure. Okay. All right. So let's listen to part 4. Okay, we're going to answer questions on climate change. So we know that we're going to be dealing with climate change because we had a chance to take a sneak peek at that earlier in the lesson. Okay, so let me again jump over to our website here, which is aehelp.com. Okay, let me show you where that is. All right. There we go. So now we go to our audio CDs. So this is once you've logged into your My Student account, and then you go to track 4. So let's listen and answer. So CD 1, track 4. Let's listen. Let's answer some questions.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing climate change. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello class, hope you all had a good weekend. Today we will be talking about climate change. Life on Earth is going to have some adapting to do if climate scientists are correct with regard to their predictions of the Earth's rising atmospheric temperature. Humans and animals alike may have to change both their habits and habitats. The average temperature on the Earth's surface has risen by an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the last 100 years, and this trend is continuing at an ever-increasing speed. Until now, it seems that business and the environment have met as adversaries. But with the growing profitability of green products, perhaps business can play a positive role in the fight to save the environment. There is an ever-growing consensus that the cause of climate change can be linked to human action. To be more specific, environmental change is caused by the emission of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is chief among these. So what's so bad about things getting a little warmer, you may wonder? Weather patterns could become more extreme. The polar ice caps could melt. Sea levels could rise, and incidences of famine due to drought could also increase. On the other hand, places such as northern Canada will likely become more productive for farming and mineral and crude oil extraction. What isn't positive about the permafrost melting is that the ice is a carbon sink, and when it melts, it releases even more carbon into the atmosphere. It's clear that humans will have to change their relationship with the Earth and its resources, but the debate remains over who should be leading that change. Advocates of personal responsibility claim that small personal measures, such as changing light bulbs or riding a bike, can make a significant difference. On the other hand, governments from developing countries are calling for economic reparations to be paid by developed nations because, after all, it is the rich who cause most of the environmental damage and made money from it. The other major group that has profited from our increasing environmental degradation are corporations. Business has always been about production and consumption. The invisible hand of supply and demand has long run our economic system, and now there is an ever-growing demand for conservation. The question is, when will consumer demand be commensurate with green technological advances that allow for environmentally friendly products to actually be more profitable than those that pollute? One option to speed up this process is to have governments impose true cost taxes on every product that is sold. This would force prices to include an economic pressure to purchase or use products that will not cause further environmental degradation or carbon emissions. There is little doubt that climate change is going to cause a drastic difference to our environment and way of life. The questions that remain to be asked revolve around how to solve the climate crisis and who will pay for the restructuring of our patterns of consumption that have led to these problems. With the ever-growing desire for green consumer goods, perhaps businesses can answer some of these questions by producing environmentally sound products. Even if business has a role to play in saving the environment, it is clear that we all need to do our part.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and check those answers. Look for spelling, look for logic mistakes. Okay. So read the sentence with your answers to make sure that it makes sense. We'll go through these answers together and then talk about them a minute. So fill in the blanks. Part 4 is quite fast. You really have to pay attention. I was giving you a little bit of assistance by kind of going with the audio and showing you where that paraphrasing was happening. So you can see that the words in the summary and the words by the professor are not the same words often, but they are paraphrased. Okay, this is why paraphrasing is so important. At home, when you're practicing this, you want to read the script and read the summary so that you can see that, oh, okay, those words are matching, right? So when the summary says argue and the professor says debate, he's talking about the same idea, just using a different word, right? And part 4 has a lot of paraphrasing, so really pay attention to that. Okay, notice that there were kind of these subheadings. I really focused on those while reviewing. So there was background information, causes, implications, who's going to change. Okay, let's get back to the beginning here. So it says, humanity as well as other species may have to drastically alter their something and something. And here the professor really enunciates these two words. So listen for those words, just like this and this, right? Because that's the answer, all right? So Sports Short says it's habits and habitats. Rohit Saeed agree. Yeah, Divya. We've got a lot of correct answers there. That's great. So this is all going into space 31. Okay, so habits and habitats. Yeah, the behaviors and where we live, right? Definitely. So habits, habitats, both are plural. They have to be plural. Okay. So habits and habitats. And then, so Earth's surface temperature has risen an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the past century. Businesses and environmentalists have been at odds with one another, but the emergence of something may change this. Now, I know from this sentence structure that this has to be some kind of a noun, right? And it looks like a lot of you got that. Our members are really paying attention. I'm guessing that many of you are doing these listening exercises off the website as well. Kawal and Divya, Luan, Nguyen, Simran all say that the answer here is the emergence of green products. Yeah. It's a collocation, and it basically refers to products that are environmentally friendly. They're green, right? They're the color of forests and woodlands, and they are considered to be environmentally friendly or nature friendly. So green products, natural products that don't harm the environment. Causes and implications. So always read the sentence, right? So climate change is caused by greenhouse gases specifically. And I think the professor uses the word especially instead of specifically. So that's the paraphrase. And many of you are saying carbon dioxide. Yeah, let's do that in a really easy way. CO2. If you know the chemical abbreviation for carbon dioxide, then use that. It's super easy, super fast. Okay, so instead of actually writing carbon dioxide and making a spelling mistake, just keep it simple. Just like abbreviation for a month or a day of the week, CO2. If you write carbon dioxide and it's accurate, you'll get it right. Okay. Warmer weather can cause extreme weather patterns. Ice caps could melt and famine could occur. Northern Canada may become a beneficiary. As far as food production is concerned, it could become a more productive place for what? So here, again, the professor emphasized this. He really announced it. He said, and places like Northern Canada could become much better for... That's right, farming. Exactly. Farming. So if you got the word farming, you got it right. Okay, a big negative is that the melting permafrost contains a lot of carbon which will be released if the ice caps melt. So there's no question and answer here, but a really important tip is that you have to read and follow with the audio. So students, we have a lot of audio reading on our website as well for the passages in these practice exams. And you want to use those to practice going with the audio. So listening to the speaker or the reader while you're reading, right? So that you can follow with the key words like melting permafrost so you know what's going on in the audio. So who is going to change? People who think each person is responsible for themselves believe that small steps, such as using energy efficient something. Cass says it's light bulbs. Saeed says it's light bulbs. Light bulbs. One word. Tricky one. If you write it as two words, I don't know. I have to talk to our contact at British Council because sometimes I'm not sure if they will give you the mark if it's actually one word and you're writing it as two words. So light bulbs, it flows. Light bulbs. We don't say light bulbs. We say light bulbs. It's a light bulb. So if it's one word, like lifeboats, light bulbs, you should write it as one word to make sure that you get it right. I don't know. I'll ask our guys at British Council. So careful with that. Tricky. Governments from developing nations want developed countries to pay them for causing such environmental damage. Economics. The something of supply and demand has been in charge of economics for a long time. Okay. Yeah, Saeed, and this is so. Saeed says Google says it's 2 words. Microsoft Word says it's 1 word. That's why, Saeed, I'm not sure if they give you the mark, because sometimes there's a debate on these 1 word versus 2 words. Sometimes it's very unanimous, so sometimes it's complete agreement that it's 1 word, but sometimes there's disagreement. Okay, number 37, invisible hand. It's the invisible hand of supply and demand. We cannot see it, but it's there. People want it, so people make it, people buy it. It's the invisible hand. It means it's there, but you can't see it. Okay, so the invisible hand of supply and demand has been in charge of economics for a long time. Economists wonder when consumer demand for environmental products will surpass products that pollute. One solution to this problem is to institute a something tax. And again, you're paying attention to words like tax here. Like, when is this professor mentioning the word tax? And I think some of you did it. Jenny and Mohinder both say, well, that should be true cost. And it is true cost tax. Okay, very good. On each purchase which is deemed to be environmentally unfriendly. This would provide an economic something to buy environmentally friendly products. So here you can almost guess this word if you're really paying attention. So if you're being taxed for buying products that hurt the environment, like grocery bags, right? So people have to pay for plastic bags. So a lot of people don't buy plastic bags anymore because it provides an economic pressure. That's right, Mal. It provides an economic pressure to buy environmentally friendly products. So many of us will say, okay, if plastic bags cost money, I will buy a fabric bag so that I don't have to spend a ton of money always buying plastic bags in the store. Right? So it's that economic pressure. Okay, very good. All right, conclusion. So climate change is going to change our way of life. Who will pay for the necessary changes in our consumption patterns? With the growing demand for environmentally friendly goods, it is arguably something which can best answer this question. All right. Saeed says businesses. Yeah, very good. Yes, it is. So it was businesses. Very nice. Okay, and then the last and final question. It is apparent, however, that something have a responsibility to look after the environment. So one last one here. It's a 2-word answer. Saeed says all. Simran says we all. Yeah. It's we all. And it's true. The answer is we all. So it is apparent, however, that we all have a responsibility to look after the environment, and hopefully we do. Hopefully we do that. Okay. All right, students. So those were the answers, okay? Just a quick overview here. So question 31, 2 words, habits, habitats. Question 32, green products. 33, CO2. 34, farming. 35, light bulbs. 36, invisible hand. 37, true cost. 38, pressure. 39, businesses. 40, we all. Final question from me. How many marks did you get from 40 if you were here yesterday and today? Okay, so if you saw today's and yesterday's class, what did you get out of 40? If you got like 6 or 7 or more correct on part 4, that's excellent. All right, it's definitely the most challenging part. The question here is how many did you get out of 40? Because if you can tell me that, I can tell you your band score. If I go to our website and I go to the very bottom of the website, let me do an enlargement here. So at the very bottom of the website, right over there, is the score calculator. Okay, and the score calculator can give you your mark. Okay. All right. Lei Quang Hu says, and he got 31. So Li Quang, you would get a band 7 for that. Okay. Cass, 34 would be a 7.5. Okay. Rohit, 32 is a 7.5. So Lei, had you gotten one more correct, you'd get a 7.5 instead of a 7. Kawal, 34, that's also 7.5. Jawahir, 21, is a 5.5. Okay. All right. Srihari, 20. 20 is a 5.5. Yeah, so if you get 20, if you get half of them correct, basically you get a 5.5. All right, so you can check out that score calculator on the website. And again, you can click this big red button to join our premium IELTS package on the website. And for the next 2 days, so there's only 2 days left, you can use this discount code RU492, and then you can get a 30% discount off the premium package. There's 6 full practice exams with audios for not only the listening but also for practice for the reading, and lots more, many videos in HD, uninterrupted, not dependent on streaming devices. So check that out, everyone. That is it for today's live class. But do remember that we have some more live classes tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Okay. And those live classes will be, let's see, it's not that one. Those live classes will be on speaking. Okay. All right. So those will be speaking live classes. All right. Speaking part 2, speaking part 3. So make sure to come back for those. All right. And make sure to be here at the same time. So members, it will be a part 2 class for you. And then for the all chat class, it will be part 3. And it should be some new topics here. So let's go there. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so again, students, thank you so much for your patience today, putting up with some of the technical difficulties of live streaming. And again, aehelp.com, glshelp.com. Check us out there. Use that code there, RU492. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Carolina, for moderating the chat. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day, or have some good rest if you're going to sleep. Bye for now.